One of the earliest electrical lamps, though, was actually discovered, or the basis of this was discovered as early as 1675. This is pretty amazing, really, considering that there was no batteries then, there was no way of producing a steady electric current, and yet the form of lighting that we use now, and very often, was discovered in 1675. I'll say what it was in a moment, but how was it discovered? Well, a French chap, a French astronomer named Jean Picard, who later became famous, of course, for being the pilot of the Starship Enterprise. But Jean Picard was walking home at night, and a very, very dark night, because, of course, there wasn't any lighting, no street lights in these days, in 1675, but he was walking home carrying his mercury barometer for some reason, okay? And he was sort of sloshing the mercury around, and there was some static electricity, and it actually lit up the gas in the top of his barometer. In the top of his barometer, what he had then was a few little atoms of mercury under very low pressures, and this was the earliest electrical discharge lamp. And this was later refined, and people generated their electricity using static electricity. Now we're going to try this. I'm going to generate some static electricity by rubbing a rod here and then moving it over some tubes that contain gases at very low pressures. And perhaps you can see, as I move this over, some red flashes. Well, this is the sort of thing that Jean Picard detected in 1675, just the tiny little traces here. And then this is actually now developed into the discharge lights that we see. And these at the moment contain colourless gases in glass tubes, but if we apply a voltage across them, they all light up with their characteristic colours. So you have helium at the top, neon, this bright sign, this is what we see in advertisements and so on, but argon, krypton, and xenon. So each of these gases gives a very different colour.